We are live. Welcome, everybody, to the Dungeons and Derailments stream. Episode 5, Strange Invaders is what we went with as the group started encountering these invaders in the swamp last week. A little bit of business because of some personal things that have come up. Scotty won't be able to make this week's stream or streams for the foreseeable future, so we'll kind of get her character written out of the thing for the time being. Also, we've got Kendall's last stream for the time being this week, who also has some personal stuff going on that can't really make it, but we do have a full cast lined up for next week. We'll introduce them on stream next week. So we'll keep the ball rolling, and maybe we'll see a guest appearance now and then from some of our current cast who have other things to take care of. That said, anybody else have anything that needs to be said or addressed before we get into it? We're a little bit late starting due to some technical difficulties, but aside from that, we're pretty much ready to go, I think.
Technical difficulties.
Kelly has just the biggest shit-eating grin on his face.
I wasn't going to say who.
It's okay. Chad, if you want to punish us, just, we should make a reward system for punishing
they already
us.
have a button.
Well, you can already take a D4 off of their rolls, so you know.
Oh, yeah.
So
They can.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah,
Those
yeah.
I
Channel
don't
points. Yeah, those of you who haven't been paying attention, channel points do allow you to do a few different things during the game. You can add or subtract from the final boss's health. You can go in and add or subtract a D4 to people's rolls. There's other different benefits you can do. So if you want to take away from Callie's rolls, you can do that.
I think someone gave me a bend luck last game.
Okay, yeah, and that
I
what,
didn't use it.
and we didn't catch that at the time. We're getting better at trying to catch when those things happen. So you can go into this session. Your first roll of the session will have a bend luck on it, Kindle. So we'll make sure that gets taken care of. Otherwise, where we left off last week, the group went into the swamp, the Fen of the Enchantress, it's called, making their way a couple days' journey into the swampland, investigating the whatever was the case that the letter that Omar and Theodore received about investigating that area. Going in, they found an encampment, these upright stakes forming a perimeter. From what they determined were orcs. Now, this was a little bit strange, as orcs had been encountered by humans before, but never on this continent. They were in a land far to the south. These kind of massive humanoids that are very warlike and very strong. So that was a bit odd. The group spent some time around the perimeter, kind of looking through cracks in the walls, trying to figure out what was going on, spending lots of time going behind the bush and urinating, I suppose. Summoning magic and familiars and having them fly out and look at things. But we pick up a little bit past that, and because of the needing to kind of write a character out, kind of a sudden thing that's come up, what we'll say is that the rest of that evening passed. You all were able to go back to your encampment kind of in the center of this clearing where the quicksand and the will-o-wisps were, but you figured out where is safe and where is not. And upon waking in the morning with an arrow stuck into a tree, a letter from Talon, mentioning some of her former contacts in the Rangers to the north needed her help, and that she was going to take off and deal with a few things there to keep on in the adventure, and perhaps one day she would regroup. But upon waking, you see this. The sun rises over the swamp, casting light into the kind of foggy, humid area. And as you wake up, the day is yours. The orcs are about 2 hours off from where your camp is.
All right.
So we've all rested. Are you all still planning on? I don't know. What do you plan to do with these orcs?
Well, I assume we're going to deal with them in some way. Either that's talking to them or exterminating them.
I don't think there's like a giant camp of them, right?
Yeah.
Like there's like a lot of them.
I mean,
It's like
based,
me times like 5, because there's like 10 of them. So like them
Right.
me times
Yeah.
5. Like you wouldn't want.
Yes. Very. Yeah. No. I mean, we might need some reinforcements. That's for sure. But this does need dealing with. We're not going to
Well,
leave this.
what if we tried to figure out why they're here, and then you can send a letter back, maybe requesting reinforcements? Because I don't know, based on what you said you saw, I don't know that
Right.
we could
How
take
could
them
he send
out.
a letter? We're in the middle of nowhere.
We'll find a mailman.
Or it burrowed or something. I don't know how this works.
I mean, if we go on the path, we probably would find someone eventually. Right?
Yes, I believe that would be the best course of action to just go to the nearest settlement. Sure, there's one, maybe.
Okay.
Or we
But
could just
we
try
need to
and deal
figure
with
it
this
out.
by ourselves. Yes.
Yeah, we need to just. Well, I don't know. I think maybe we just figure out kind of what they're here for. Uh, I don't know that us being down, our tracker kind of left us hanging here. I don't know that us few could handle that large of an encampment.
Right, right. That's why I'm hoping diplomacy will work. But if it doesn't, I think we might be better off just going to the nearest village and seeing what we can do there.
Even if I did want to fight them, I think that's a smart idea to not fight them now. That seems like a bad idea. Just tell someone else about it. I think I agree.
And DM, we're still in Durisk, right?
Yes, you haven't made it north to the Elven territories. That's another couple weeks of travel. But yeah, you're in the swamps. That's kind of to the north of the city that you were in before. Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure you said earlier, Adri, that they tend to stay on the other side of the war. The Gudrun.
I
That
have
was
not
me.
heard of them ever talking to Dudusk.
No,
Um,
that's Marcus. I know they're big and they
like
both
the
yeah.
big buff guys who don't talk very much.
Well, I
I
don't know about
talk
not talk very
plenty.
much.
You take
Maybe
some
it's
Yeah.
less about
extra.
how much you say
I
and more
block
about
intelligence
quality.
entirely. Yes.
But yes, I
Yeah,
heard
anyway.
rumors of them fighting for food.
Right. So it's odd for them to be here. I'm sure if we report to somebody, they'd be interested in enemy forces within their lands. I'm sure someone would deal with this, right?
Most likely, yes.
I think we have to do it, actually. Man, this is so stressful, this whole ordeal we've gotten ourselves into.
Yeah.
I mean, we came here to help, right, and help people and get
Right.
money for it. So, if we could find somewhere that we could go tell them about it, because then the orc camp might. Yeah, I'm just reiterating your idea and
Right.
making it
Yes.
yeah.
Great summary.
Alright, so you somehow made it longer and didn't even get
Yeah.
to the point.
Yeah.
And if I recall, I believe your letter that you received said something about investigating, figuring out what was going on, and reporting back. So you can interpret that how you will.
Right. So we have to deal with this no matter what. I mean, it's just unavoidable.
All right. So do we want to try and find out more, or just report on the encampment? Because I don't know what they're here for, other than you. Which, by the way, I find that very odd that you know that. You don't say much, Marcus, but that was an interesting bit of information. Yeah, don't think that went unnoticed.
I mean, it's just
Oddly,
common
you're not
information,
commenting on
right?
it, and really, you can't comment either because you're still on a thin layer of ice, buddy. I remember the discussion we had about orcs and your specificity. You two are very odd. It's like the bigger they are, the more strange.
Oh, thank you.
Well, no, I guess I have to retract that statement. You are incredibly odd. You are incredibly odd too. I guess the less normal your height,
Yes.
the more odd you are.
Right, right.
My height is
I
It builds, it builds. Anyway, yes, I think we should just. God, we've walked a while to find this camp there. See if we can retrace our steps, and see if we can make it back to the path and continue on.
Well, is anybody familiar with uh, an encampment? I mean, I don't want to go all the way back to Gulfsworth. That's far.
Well, not to go sort of, but the path we were taking.
Yeah, but do we know?
Oh, right.
From my limited experience outside of Goldsworth, I don't know of any other places, more northward besides Westhyra. So
Yes, if I remember correctly from what the good doctor said, next town would be in West Ira and quite a ways away.
Well, I really don't wish to go to Ghostwood. Maybe we can just stake out the area using our resources. Overnight.
are we
so that
kidnapping an orc?
We.
What
That's,
Woohoo!
that's not out of the
Let's not- let's-
question, but
let's
I'd
not do that.
rather not.
I'm
we-
sorry. Maybe I jumped to some conclusion there.
Right. Yes, you did.
I thought
So
that
yes,
was
we
what you were
use
hinting
our,
at then.
our resources and see what we can see, how many numbers they have, and what weapons they're wielding, and see if we can report back.
I mean, we know, like, there are a
Some
lot. There's more than
yes.
10.
Yes.
We know that, and they have a
that's this many,
leader.
so
That I'm surprised you still have all those figures. We have there's more than 10, uh, and and they
And we know
have
of
a
their
leader,
banner.
and we know what their banner looks like, and we know from Marcus that they've had contracts in the past. So I think we might actually have a good amount of information, other than what specifically they're doing in this area. I don't know how we would find that out.
And as you're having this
Well, that looked good
conversation,
enough. Then
you hear the sound of footsteps
Oh,
traipsing through the underbrush, not too far away.
Can I?
They're not making it. Doesn't sound like any effort to be quiet, but just kind of a.
I kind of want
Oh.
to see.
lie down on the
I want to
ground.
stealth and see what it is.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead and
yeah.
make a stealth check as you start kind of wandering up to whatever this is.
yeah. While he wanders off, just behind a tree. Quick pee break before we figure out what this is. Just behind a tree, leather shoulder to shoulder, just once again casting.
Mage armor is
actually,
arcane.
could I?
Yeah.
While he's saying going off to say a pea brick, I'm starting to get a bit suspicious of him. Can I try to
No!
sneak off?
You're gonna go watch him
where-
pee.
What he's actually trying to do? Yeah, I'm gonna. Because I don't think I'm starting to. I don't know if he's peeing. If he's peeing, then I'll back off. if he's making a whiz.
I would like to say
Ma-
one hand is being used to pee, and the other hand.
make a stealth check.
Master of multitasking.
Yeah. I'm trained well.
And my bend luck as well, right? That's
Yeah, you do have a bend luck.
Oh
Yes.
no! Yes.
Oh, that's a good roll too.
You laid the
19
groundwork
plus
for
9,
your own
that's 28.
destruction.
That's
No.
31.
There's literally no way I would see him. Yeah.
What?
The DM doesn't see him at that.
So kind of like creeping after him. And kind of
Yeah,
like
just kinda back
staying
up.
in the
You know what you-
bushes.
Like the Homer thing where he goes backs up into the bush.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
So what does Wilgan see happening as he
Alright.
kind of like follows creepily to go
Okay, so what you would see, are you behind me?
kind of off to
or
the side, I would say.
Yeah,
off to the side. Okay, so what you see is one, I am peeing. Two, but in the process of that, you see Theo take a piece of cured leather from a pouch on his side, and doesn't look like anything's really happening. You just see him kind of muttering to himself and dragging it from shoulder to shoulder. And as he reaches his left shoulder, you do see a faint like shimmer go about his body, and maybe more so concerning than the shimmer is all of these runes appear all over like an inch off of his body when it happens, and then they fade.
he's just gonna slink off and try to join the group and
Adri's still
Try to put
flat
together
on the
what he's-
floor trying to hide.
Meanwhile, Omar, make a stealth check for me.
Yeah, I rolled a 14.
14.
Ugh. Horrible
All right.
allergies.
So, how are you wanting to go and try to watch? Are you going up in the trees? You've often climbed them. Are you staying low to the ground? What's your methodology?
I think I'm probably gonna stay low to the ground.
Okay. So, as you slowly approach the sound of these footsteps, you close some of the distance, and whenever you kind of peer out, you see two of the orcs along with a massive, massive wolf that are walking through the swamp at the moment. One of them is carrying a piece of parchment, and they're having a conversation with each other. I'll say make a perception check and see how much of this you can pick up. As you do speak Orcish, yes.
Yeah. Oh, I rolled good too. 23.
What you hear why do we need all this junk anyway? Nothing a battle axe club can't solve. Moss from the east side of a tree growing from it's too specific. Too specific. Lock of hair from it's all nonsense. It's nonsense. It's there, kind of moving on through the woods.
Okay. I guess I'll try to remember where I saw them move on from.
Yeah, they're about 3 or 4 minutes, kind of stealthily walking from the camp farther to the north, between where you are and the Orcish encampment.
I'll return to the group.
As you start heading back, the wolf and the handler kind of like keep going, keep going.
Okay. Once I've arrived. So I've picked up some information. They're seeking moss from an eastern tree and hair from something, and they don't seem too pleased about it, like they were ordered to do so.
Moss and hair. Huh.
And they said it was very specifically needed.
Yeah. DM, do those sound like components I would have heard of? Oh
Good.
no, I haven't studied that. Well, I kind of did.
I mean, you can make your
Yeah.
determination. This the
Yeah.
specificity of it sounds a lot like spell components.
Yeah. Those sound like possibly, I don't know, components for something. I don't know whether it be a weird meal or something more dangerous than that. Perhaps we should
It sounds a
them.
lot like what the medicine man want. So
Very astute. He
Yeah.
could use components for dangerous things as well, should he have chosen to do so.
the medicine man?
Yeah, you know,
Why-
medicine
why
doesn't
would he
have to
do
be for
that?
good. I'm just saying it could be. Just as things can be used for good, they don't necessarily have to be.
Also, actually, I used the wrong sheet. I actually rolled a 29 instead of a 31.
Still the same.
always
Same
do.
difference. Same difference.
Well, then.
Yeah.
What's Theodore's passive perception?
14.
Yeah, I thought so.
So still more than double. Yeah.
Oh lord.
I think I knew where they were at. They had a large wolf with them and two Goliath orcs. Really huge bastards. Anyway, we can follow them a bit and try and take. They seem to be reading those I guess component from a list You can either take them out and take the list, or try and nab
Well.
it from them with the distraction.
If we could get the list without having to fight them, that's probably.
I mean,
I mean-
if it's like 1 or 2, I'm sure it's not that
Okay,
big. of a
well, if
deal.
it comes to that, we'll see. Okay, well then let's just tail them for now and see if we can't avoid that. But yeah, 2 and a wolf is not as bad as a whole
Oh,
camp.
it was a
Yeah.
it was a very large wolf.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I should have.
Well,
mentioned that.
yeah. We'll just. I
How
think we
large
should
is
see.
very large? I feel like my sense of scale is quite off with you people.
Like larger
What do
than.
you mean, you people?
I'd say about as tall as me, but longer. Very longer. Maybe a bit taller.
Very longer.
Very longer. Yes.
Like, if it was standing upright, like instead of like normal, how tall would it be?
It'd be taller than 2 of you.
All right. Well, let's just try and follow them, and since it's only 2 and 1, and that's 3, and we are greater than that number, we can hopefully overpower them if we need to.
That is an
Hopefully.
awfully large wolf.
Yeah, we'll leave that one to you.
I will try to lead them to the tracks.
Okay. And you know where you were at. It wasn't terribly far away. And by now, the party that they had has kind of moved off a little farther into the swamp. But yeah, you see some very large footprints from the 2 orcs themselves, as well as paw prints from the wolf that was along with them, which is about 3/4 the size of the orcish footprint in the moist ground.
Fairly large paw print.
Follow stealthily.
We'll try.
Single.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give it
I'm-
our best.
I'm very stealthy. No, I'm not. I
Yep,
don't know.
we could try.
Maybe-
But we need to make sure we keep up with them. It's the problem.
So if you're going to attempt to follow the trail and see if you can catch up to them, whoever's taking the lead in this, I need a survival check from.
That'd be me.
Damn you, Talon! You've robbed us of our survival.
That's a 17.
17. And then I need a stealth check from the group.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yay.
Oh my
I
god,
don't-
that's not
I
bad.
just select
That's a
the
6,
correct
so it's not as
dice.
good.
Oh, if only you had used, not your stealth to watch me pee, and then you'd have that.
I mean, this doesn't matter as much.
Okay.
With,
I
with
mean-
It's like,
disadvantage,
it's still a 14.
with disadvantage, I got a 17.
So 17, 14,
12.
12,
7.
7.
Okay. Thank God.
Omar,
9.
9.
How did I get the highest?
That's
I'm not
rough.
stealthy. I'm
Fort-
like holding my robes up, trying not to get them soaked in the mud.
Fortunately, the things that you're tracking are not the most astute at picking up on being tracked, aside from the wolf. But
There you go.
but the 2 orcs are not paying a lot of attention, and they seem more annoyed by the whole predicament and not really listening to the cues given to them by their wolf at this point anyway. It takes a little while to catch up as you're moving at a slower pace, trying your best to be quiet, but not doing a great job at it. The ground's very soft, so every time you take a step, and you like push by trees and the branches, you're not doing a great job. But you eventually do start catching up to where they're at. The tracks become more and more distinct, and eventually you see some movement up ahead. What you see is the 2 orcs standing there. The wolf, the fur on its neck is kind of standing up as it's kind of braced in place. And the orcs, well, Omar, you understand it as you speak Orcish. I don't like it. We gotta get back. We gotta get back to camp. Hush! We've come out here on an assignment and we'll complete it. And then you see all of a sudden the appearance of what looks like kind of white in color, transparent. the form of a woman. And you watch as that form dashes through the air, goes through the two orcish forms as they collapse face first onto the ground before she lets out kind of a bit of a laugh and fades into a mist. The wolf runs off into the forest.
I'm gonna hide behind someone.
I don't know what that
It's
was,
like,
but that's very alarming that it just killed those two instantly.
What's the name of this swamp again?
Are we
The
sure they're
Fen
dead?
of the Enchantress. That's probably the Enchantress.
Seems to be the namesake.
Oh,
Who wanted to go get the note from them?
I'll
Not me.
go grab it.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
I'm
Meat
staying
shields.
back. Like,
I was
staying
gonna
back.
offer myself because I'm the quickest, but
Have fun.
I don't want to go, so yes, go ahead.
Yeah, yep. I'm just gonna walk up, grab.
Don't
the-
run! Run!
Run up! Run!
Like as he starts walking.
So Marcus, you get up there, and the two orcish bodies are both lying face first onto the ground, unmoving. You kind of look down. Make a medicine check.
Ooh, that's not a skill I use.
Well, see what you can figure out from your quick cursory glance.
11.
11? They're not breathing. That's all you really discern. You haven't really seen orcs up close, so trying to figure out what may have happened to them, you don't really have much. But they're, laying down onto the ground.
Okay, I'm gonna touch them as little as possible to avoid accidentally waking them, and I'm gonna try and grab
Are they dead?
whatever. Yeah, it seems like it. Be quiet. I'll
Hurry.
I'll grab whatever sheet or anything they had, like the list they had or anything. Anything that seems like has important information.
Yeah, so you start kind of looking through their equipment. Make an investigation check. Are the rest of you just standing back and let him doing this, or are you
I
approaching?
am not going anywhere near.
Okay.
I really wish you would, because I'm not.
I'll stand
I-
40
I-
feet behind him. I'll be
Andrew
40
is
feet in.
actively looking for ghostly spectral
Make a
looking
perception
things
check.
that are very
-1.
scary.
What? So you're kind of like looking around and digging. You're not finding much, but you're kind of panicking. And
I've got to come back.
Adri, perception check.
Natural 20. That would be a 20. Where's my perception? Where the hell? Oh, it's just 20. Just 20. Don't have any added.
Rolls that you kind of wish you fail sometimes. Now, as you're watching, you kind of take a glance around, like, is it still around? And you do see about 50 feet off this kind of white, glowing, spectral form of this, what looks like a beautiful human woman. Just the features and the look of it, almost just glowing, standing off to the side, just watching.
Looking back?
No, watching Marcus as he kind of looks through the orcs, just kind of watching.
I'm more.
Marcus?
Yeah, just give me a minute.
Quiet down. Quiet down.
Well, I was saying this since before that roll. Come back, you're taking too long. It's probably gonna nab you up. Come on.
I'll just grab like a random bag, one of the orcs, or pouch or something that one of the orcs are holding, and run back to them and hope something's in there. Here, I don't know if there's anything in this.
You're not very.
Look
Never mind,
over
at least you were brave.
There.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm not good at searching bodies.
What's over there?
I'm pointing at the.
Are you like
Oh,
shaking,
wait.
pointing? Or...
Yes, I'm
Oh
shaking.
no.
Oh,
You immediately kind of look over. Nothing there.
What are you? There's nothing there.
What's
She,
wrong?
she was there. She was there. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. She was there. I saw her. She was looking at
You
Marcus.
sound incredibly brave.
Yes.
Alright, I'm going to do this.
Oh, all right. Are you
Are
really
gonna
gonna
go
go?
check the thing I grabbed?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
maybe
yeah.
he has a bag. We
you
want to
just-
check that. Maybe.
Okay, so Marcus, yeah, you open it up, and within this bag, the only thing that this particular orc was carrying was a really, really large drumstick off of some sort of creature that has a couple bites taken out of it.
That's not what we needed. Uh,
As much as I
I'll-
don't want to go out there, maybe
And
I
as
can
you kind of
watch.
look into it, it's been here a while. There's kind of a couple maggots that are kind of in the corners of it.
Drop.
How is there like tall grass and stuff leading up to the orcs, or is it just
Well, it's kind of mostly dirt. There's some shrubs in different places that you could probably use as cover, but there's no grass. You're in a swamp.
Oh yeah, we're in the swamp.
I'll watch you go. I'm not going though.
Okay, I want to get like 40 feet away. That was before. And I want to hop in a tree first. And I want to see if I can make out, because they were holding it. So I want to see where their hands are, if there is just any piece of paper. Or any over
So you're going to try to look down from above and see.
from above and see.
Okay, make a I want to say make an investigation check at disadvantage, trying to investigate this from 40 feet away up in a tree.
Yeah, no, that's fair. First rule was really good, but the second rule was a natural 20. I rolled a 19 and a 20 for a dirty 20.
Okay, so
Beautiful.
having a look from this perspective, they're kind of sprawled out a bit on the ground, and some of their possessions kind of fell onto the ground with them. One of them had a large, like cudgel weapon that's down on the ground. But yeah, with a 20, I would say you can see kind of underneath, like the arm of one of them, is a little bit of parchment sticking out in the mud.
Okay. Now, I know we're not in current order, but I want to run, pick it up, if that's a free action, I don't know.
Well, you're not in combat, so you can do whatever you want.
But I pretty much wanted to run, pick it up, dash, and then bonus action dash.
There's no actions or bonus actions. We're not in combat.
So yeah, I guess I'll just
Just go speed.
try to
Run as fast
quickly-
as you can.
Yeah, I'll just Naruto run
run,
down
run.
and try to pick up the thing out of his sleeve and run back.
So yeah, dropping down out of the tree and just running. Make an athletics check just for the fun of it.
In character, are you really Naruto running? Please.
No, no.
And you can use either strength or dexterity for the athletics check. It is either one. So you're either parkouring your way through or you're just sprinting. I don't care either one.
I rolled a natural 20 again.
For a total of
Dude.
25.
25. So, and that was dex, I assume.
Yeah.
So dropping down out of the tree and just kind of almost dropping into like a front flip into running and kind of sliding down, pulling out the parchment and looping back around, you go quick. And it doesn't take long at all before you're grouped back up with your party.
While he's moving just to the group, that's like, see, this is what he contributes.
Keeping my
Don't
eye
let him
out,
know I
did
said that.
Did I see the white spectral thing?
You were watching while he was kind of dashing over there?
Yeah.
Make a perception check.
12.
No.
He kind of like stops. What was my time? What was my time?
Were we supposed to be keeping time?
It was
left?
it was about 6 seconds. Good job.
Right. Fairly quick, yes.
Well, I saw her last that way, so maybe we should go that way.
Right.
I
let's
think just go
start
back to where we
walking
came from.
away for a
Yeah.
second. I'm gonna pull out
Does-
the parchment. Does it
does
look
Adri
like...
look like high or like tired or something? Or like he's his
I mean, he
Make
constantly
make an
has
ins-
one
make
back
an
in
make
his
an
house.
insight check. Make an insight check.
Yeah, we also sang like a couple minutes ago though.
You all saw it vaguely, but he saw a lot more kind of direct.
Yeah, I mean, but like we saw it with
Oh.
like, the orcs.
oh boy.
Yeah, for like a second. It's just like,
Yeah.
Here comes the bad
Oh,
roll. That's
well-
about a 10.
Well,
10. I mean, he seems kind of disturbed by something, but it's
I if you're asking for physical attributes, if I'm like, you think I might be out of my rocker, I constantly have bags under my eyes, but that's something that I've always had ever since you knew me.
So like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
what were we doing though? You were Omar. You were getting back with the group, and
Yeah, I'm ushering everyone back towards just following the tracks that the orcs had led, and I want to read the
Okay.
thing to see if it says what they were saying out loud.
Yeah, so it is written in Orcish, and as you look through it, you see a few of those things. You see some moss that's very specifically from the eastern side of a tree, a particular type of it. It's asking for the lock of hair from the mane of a large woodland. And some of these are very obscure. A couple more specific ones. It mentions
I just need to go for a quick
and
sec.
and
Sorry.
no problem. And these are already marked off, but green and blue gemstones are marked off of the list, as well as the feathers from the tail of a hawk. And there's a whole list more of just random things, but only a couple of them are marked off, as if they were going on some sort of massive scavenger hunt.
Is there anything that looks like it would take like a very, very long time to gather, or is it all just like can be done in a week? Deal?
As you look through it, some of these things are fairly obscure. One of the things on the list does kind of catch your eye. It's a little bit weird as you keep reading, and it does say, and it mentions a very specific herb, but it says in the Orcish equivalent, "Find Enchantress?" question mark.
Oh, that would probably take quite a bit. All right. I guess. Well, I for one think we should go to the nearest town. Probably both. Send a letter,
To friends.
friend. I think we have enough to call it. Yes.
Okay, good, because I don't like being here anymore. I'm muddy. I'm wet.
Right.
Are you sharing anything on that list with any of the party or with Theodore at all? Or are you
I
just
mean, I'll definitely, as we're walking, not right as we say this because it's really suspicious, but as we're walking, I will try and just sleight of hand him the note.
it's in Orcish?
But he doesn't
I
know
can't read
Orcish,
it.
I now realize. I still do it.
Okay.
I still do it. Just give him
So
the note,
stupid.
forgetting that he can't
I'm
read
so
Orcish,
dumb. Oh
and
my
walk
God.
along thinking I've accomplished something.
Nope. I fold it up and I put it in my robe pocket. Like he is the dumbest companion I could have been given. I swear. When we write this letter to the order, I'm gonna ask for a change of duty because this is just ridiculous. He's just muttering this under his breath. Just
And then I give you like after 5 seconds just a nod, as if I'm
yeah. As you look at me and nod, I just have this blank death stare that you're probably accustomed to. Like, just what? Like what?
Read the note.
I can't.
Oh, your literacy is going to get us killed.
My literacy, your brain malfunctions are gonna get us killed.
Are you two okay? Is there
Yeah,
something
we're just talking about life and
Yes.
everything.
You know,
very aggressive talk about life?
right.
Life's aggressive. It's
Yeah.
you know.
Just
Comes
talk
at
to
you even when you
or
don't
Sure
want
it
it.
is.
die to some
Hey,
sort of white.
you know what wasn't aggressive, but very lethal? That Enchantress thing, and I feel like no one's really mentioning that.
Well,
right
we're
now.
trying to walk out
Um,
of this area in the hopes that we don't have to deal with it because I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure she would kill us all as fast as she killed both of those.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to move along because chances are if we don't, we're dead.
And I don't like death very much, so I'm going to keep walking.
On that point, we agree.
You keep walking.
When
After
we're like back towards our camp.
Yeah, and you're not too far from your
yeah.
camp. Yeah. You want to stop off at your camp, I assume. So yeah, it doesn't take too long to get back to that point, 20, 30 minutes. But you do arrive back, and it is as you left it. Tents are set up in this clearing. You know where the quicksand is. You don't walk off into it.
Everybody, gather your things.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Now it would be a time to discuss that while we're packing up.
Yes, I
So
have to pee.
I d-
Walk off.
you know what? I don't have to pee. And he turns back to Adri. Um, you seemed to see it more than we did.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it didn't even look that threatening. But that's the scariest part, is that it didn't look threatening. But it.
Gather
Calm
your
down.
words.
Calm down.
Nibble on your security glove.
Sorry.
Go ahead, give it a
Um,
little nibble. We won't judge you. Calm yourself down.
I don't bite my thumb. It's not.
My eyes have proven otherwise. I've slept in a tent with you a few times now.
Speaking of that, maybe we should pack up the
let's-
tent.
okay.
Yeah.
First, what happened there? What did she look like? What did
Well, she was white and had white hair and white clothes and and a lot. She was kind of like glowing, like a little bit. I think maybe I don't know.
she was glowing?
She was white. She was. It's like, you ever hear those stories of like ghosts and like things that tend to haunt people? It kind of seemed like that. But she seemed very nice. She seemed very beautiful.
Yeah.
But the problem is that if she seemed very beautiful, then that might be. I have my some things that look very good tend to be bad. Like the lights
said-
from the other night. Do you remember the fireflies? They looked like they were just
Yeah.
fireflies. They looked
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
beautiful. They're pretty cool.
You're right.
And then I got trapped in quicksand. So
You're really good at summarizing past events.
They were glowing. She was glowing. She wasn't just like pure white.
to be honest, I was kind of panicking a little bit. So I might have gotten that wrong, but I think she was glowing.
Maybe I do have to pee. And he just walks away.
Are you gonna help me with my tent?
Okay, as
I'll
soon as you
help
leave,
now.
just as I'm walking away, you're stronger than me. And I just-
Adri, I think, I think Theodore's a ghost. He was glowing earlier. You know, last time he said he wanted to go pee. I kind of followed him. He did actually have to go pee, which was kind of odd. But he did this weird thing, and he was glowing. And do you think he's a ghost too?
If he's a ghost, why hasn't he killed me yet?
No. Are all ghosts bad?
I assume. I mean, why wouldn't if you died and then we're still here, wouldn't you be bad?
No, I'd like to stay here. There's a lot of things I'd like to see, like my house and my friends and the pond where I grew up. I think I'd like to be here. I don't know, but you're the expert on ghosts, right? You know more about these things.
Do I? I mean, I saw
You see-
one.
Yeah, so that makes you the expert, right? I don't know. I haven't seen one.
Okay. Well, I will. Okay, I will. Act like I didn't know that. And pretend like I'm his friend until I can reveal that he's a ghost, and then we can. Wait, how are we supposed to capture him? He's a ghost. He
You
could
capture
probably kill me.
ghosts.
How do you capture? Wait, why am I trying to capture the ghost?
Okay,
Ghosts
let's-
are bad,
let's-
right? I think.
We'll figure this out later. I think he's coming back. Shh, we never said anything.
Adri Thessel,
the
Ghost Hunter.
Beautiful.
I'm like, this is evolved into D&D Ghostbusters somehow.
So meanwhile, Theodore, as you kind of slip off to the side, I'm assuming looking for Omar.
Yeah.
The two of you kind of convene out of earshot of the rest of the group.
Back the note.
Yeah, because I can't read it. I don't know why
And
you would.
I'll start reading off the list to.
Most of it, yeah, this could be used for. That's well, okay. That one they're probably just conjuring up some food or something. That's fine. Oh, and you read over a few of the components that do ring a bell. And you recognize these as some kind of higher level casting, but more ritualistic in nature and very rudimentary too. If these components were being used at at the academy or at the school, it would be a very rudimentary version of a spell. It's been refined a lot since then, but this is the very old form of a type of portal, a transportation
Oh,
spell, if you will.
oh, this is not good. Um, they're either probably opening a portal to here,
Oh,
from another plane. I don't
Not
have time
not
to explain
it's
it to
definitely
you
not
two, but
and you recognize it's definitely not planar magic.
oh, okay.
It's
So
more
they're
like linking places.
leaking, so like a teleportation sort of
Yeah, something like
situation.
that.
Okay.
A more
Uh,
rudimentary version.
so they're it looks like, from what I could tell in this, that they're trying some sort of generic old time teleportation of some sort. They might be trying to bring more people in. They might be using this as an entry point for like a full blown invasion.
I would do as much.
I'm sure
So
you
they're
did.
trying to teleport more troops in to deal with the war. Assuming.
Yeah,
How
good
would we
job,
do it?
Adri. Just summarized what I just said.
Well, you didn't say for the war. Right. Um. Okay, this is very bad. This concerns both Durusk and Engineer. Um, I'm a bit worried that our inaction will lead to worse happening. So, do we
Well,
wish to report?
they don't have the supplies um yet. Uh
Well, I
on
don't
this
want
the ones that he listed specifically, that they need the teleportation, are there any of them that I would think would be in very limited supply in this area?
For sure, for sure. It would take a while to acquire all of the things. You don't doubt that they could eventually find them,
Yeah.
but some of this you'll need to find a cave, and within the cave there may be certain crystals.
Yeah.
Some of this is
Okay.
not easily just right on
Yeah.
the surface.
We have time before they could do this. We might be able to make it back in time to send a letter, but I don't know how quickly we. I mean, if we go to the next town, they might have better means of us sending something. But
well, either way, because DM Brendanir is to the
far.
well, anyway, well, we're in the coastal
So
city. Well,
yeah,
so
you were
that would be
up at
closer.
Gulfswerve, which is on the western coast in the northern
Right.
part of the country that you're in. Weisthira is a few weeks travel farther north. That's the Elven territories. It extends way farther north. Now, the nearest big city would be the capital, which is to the southeast of Gulfswerve, but would take a few weeks of travel from Gulfswerve to arrive there. It's not just a short walk.
And if I do recall, Brendanir is in the southeastern.
Way south of the main
far.
continent on an island, yes.
Right. Okay.
So our options are a few weeks north or a few weeks south.
Or goes.
Or
Or
Gulfswerve.
Gulfswerve. I mean, we could head back to Gulfswerve, send a message ahead of us, and then try and go from there.
I feel like the message arrived at first.
Yeah, sounds good. I think that's the right course of action. We just have to convince the group. Yeah.
And as you all kind of start contemplating your next move, we're going to go ahead and take about a 5 minute break. So we will be back in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. See you
That is
shortly.
indeed 5, Adam. Yes.
And we are back. So, picking back up where we left off, the group having their conversation about what to do with this new information about the orcs, maybe looking at some sort of teleportation magic, at least with Theodore and Omar being aware of that, as well as the new development of the Enchantress of the Fen being an actual entity of some sort. We pick back up with Theodore and Omar still having this conversation on what to do. Take it away.
Yes, so let's meet up. Go back to Goldsworth.
Yeah. We'll spin the planet. Hopefully they just accept it.
Of course I'll accept it. Back. Yeah.
We come back from peeing together.
Hello.
Hey. There.
Hello.
Oh.
That's.
Be-
w-
beautiful
okay.
day
Just
out.
talking about, life and how much we like being alive and stuff.
Being alive is
I
great.
don't
I'm sure
believe
most
you,
people
but
enjoy being
alright.
alive.
Most people. Yeah, most people do.
You know what I really you know what I really dislike? Like when I like scrape myself and like somehow like there's a little bit of light that comes from it or whatever, right? Right, guys? So I'm
Yeah.
looking directly at Theo.
When you scrape yourself and a light comes out?
You know, just normal alive human things.
I don't know too many. I don't know anyone who scrapes themselves and light comes out of the
Are you-
wound.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was
I
that,
think
just-
it's a dialect thing. He meant blood.
I
It's
think
his-
yeah,
completely-
blood. Yeah.
I'll be completely transparent with you. I have a list mentally. You're number one as of right now.
Yeah,
Just
you're a
gonna throw
bit
that out there.
strange.
List of what?
Right.
List of
Nothing strange here. Nothing is strange here.
This-
Absolutely
this-
not.
I just straight up don't believe you.
I'd just like to comment that Marcus has not taken part in that conversation that Audrey had. He's just been doing his own thing and packing.
Just packing and ignoring everybody.
I
Yeah,
like
pretty
him.
much. He's ready to go.
Did you get the tent together, or were you busy talking about light wounds?
Shit. I mean, no, you slept in it, so you have to help me.
Okay,
He will
as
never
long as I
help
get
you.
to continue to sleep in it. Sure.
Mr. Rules.
And he'll start taking the tent down. Okay, as long as I get to continue to sleep in it.
As you're
You'll
dragging,
watch.
or we're
He'll start
pulling
taking
like
the tent down.
leaf litter and like other crap out of the bottom of the tent. You notice there's a couple dead leeches that get thrown out.
Is your jar leaking?
Huh? My,
Your-
my jaw.
Are those leeches from your jar?
Oh yeah. They died.
Were you not feeding them?
I think they might have died because I was feeding them. Like I was feeding them too much.
I don't think that's how leeches work. Or maybe it's because they're sucking light blood out of you. He's just gonna cross his arms and just narrow his eyes at Adri. I'm not even the investigator, and you are painfully, obviously weird.
Well, you are. I'm just gonna quickly like try to like grab his shoulder, see if it passes through.
Yeah,
just to get him
he
out.
grabs
of
me. What are you doing? Just-
Step up a bit behind Theo.
Why are you
Where
grabbing me?
I
Can I try to
didn't.
can I try to
I
sneak
didn't.
up behind Theo?
Make a stealth check.
I mean, I'm currently behind
This-
Theo
with
on the
disadvantage.
block.
With disadvantage.
Disadvantage? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Omar is like
Oh, that's,
right
that's
there.
Bad. That's even worse.
Yeah.
That's a 12.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
like
definitely.
I'm gonna like trying to poke him the leg is what I'm trying to do.
I'm just gonna like, he's half my size. I'm just gonna like take my leg and like kick him away, just slowly, just
Scratch him
away.
yeah, just.
You know, I have some of this dried meat. Would you like some?
I just ate some berries.
You did you? Why didn't I see that? Were you hiding them? Are
No,
you-
I'll take out a ration bag. They're right here.
Can I see it?
I don't understand what's happening, which is a
I'm
rarity
going
for
to
me.
watch very carefully for anything he might put into the food, just because.
Sure.
I don't know this guy.
Please don't eat my food. Don't spit it back out. Just swallow. Nope, I don't want that back. Thank you. That was very. You are just
Odd.
increasingly strange. Every
Yes.
interaction we have is very weird.
Are
Yes.
you feeling any bit hungry? Do you want to eat one?
I mean, I'm not hungry, but I really like them. He'll take one of the berries out and
Insight check.
put it-
Is he?
put it-
Does he like
put it in his mouth
What
and
is this?
chew it.
What's happening?
Did you swallow?
Is this like,
What is happening? As he says that, he does swallow the berry.
Is this some sort of odd like
It-
bedtime thing? What's happening?
Is it because I'm so suspicious of you, you're just trying to turn things around? Because that's not really how things work.
Yes.
Just Marcus in the
how,
background.
how do things work?
I mean, when you present yourself as suspicious, such as this individual here, and you know things that are curious and not something that we would assume is known, and you change the subject every time I bring up something that you specifically do, and you're talking about light coming out of wounds, and you're investigating my food for some reason and watching me chew.
Making sure your food hasn't been poisoned or anything.
I keep it
I
on.
checked my food earlier. It was.
How
was
do you
good, but we
stop
were-
yourself from glowing?
What? What? What?
You don't seem to want to kill me, which
I-
is fine.
I
What do you
kind
want?
of do actually at this
What do you
point,
want?
but
He is.
Well,
He is.
you haven't killed me
You
yet,
admitted it. He admitted it.
which means
that I'm
you-
interested. He's driving
are
me crazy is the problem. For the last.
Why?
What are you trying to ask?
Whenever,
This is
Just
the
guy,
most
just out with it,
roundabout-
come
Like,
on.
what are you saying? I
What
don't.
are you?
You're a ghost. You're a
What?
ghost. That's why you're not. You don't like getting hit because then if you get hit, then we'll know.
I
that it'll
don't
just
like
pass right
getting
through you.
hit, and I'll pull my sleeve all the way up, and it's literally bone, flesh on bone, because I am very fragile, and that is
Because
why I
you're a
don't like
ghost.
getting hit. Well, a ghost probably wouldn't be fragile, just so you know. And you both just touched
How would
me,
you know
so
if you're not a ghost? How fragile ghosts are?
how would you know if you're not a ghost?
Where did you get this information from, Adri?
What
Where
is
did
Glowing.
you-
well,
I saw you earlier, and then we saw
well-
this enchantress. She was glowing, and she's a ghost.
I
saying-
was glowing because I don't like for it to be dark, and he'll
Wait.
pull from his
Hold
from behind his robe. He will pull a little jar. It's very small, but it has multiple fireflies in it. Spell component. It has multiple fireflies in it that glow as he pulls them out.
Listen,
I don't like
just-
peeing in the dark because I don't want to pee on my robes.
Adri, I'm assuming that the small one poisoned your brain, right?
I don't know what is happening here.
I mean, he
I'm
seems to
about
be
to
leading
vote
the
Logan
investigation.
out.
You don't seem to be doing anything.
This is Wogan's exit. He gets voted off the island.
Adri, did he or did he not tell you that Theo was a ghost?
Yes, he is. He's a ghost.
he,
I saw him. He was glowing. He had these weird
I
writing on
don't
his
want,
on his
I
on
just
his
want to
ropes
know
and
You know-
who started the rumor, is all.
Now, I've heard that especially some halflings are very wise when it comes to ghosts, but continue.
Oh!
you know, I
Next character. Next character.
I saw a ghost. He said you glow, and therefore you're a ghost.
That's quite the train of thought. Glowing, one. Two, you both touched me. Did you go through me? No.
I like
It's a
you
disguise
very
to
much,
make you
so
think
I'm
we're
going
not
to tell you a
ghosts.
secret. Can we have a little sidebar here?
What?
Me?
No, Adri.
Oh, Adri. Okay. He's gonna explain
I'm
something to
going
you,
to
Adri.
explain something to you, and this could very much change your outlook on life for better.
You
You.
can't take my body. I live in it.
And
You're right,
Talon
that's-
My
really
body,
was
it's
the
my
only thing
choice.
keeping this group together.
I'll just kind of whisper to him. I'll just whisper to him.
That was bad.
Well, he called Theo a ghost. After time, he vanishes from our sight. Where does he go? And then I'm gonna back up just a little bit and let them sit with that idea.
But I haven't seen him glow.
You haven't seen me glow either. Other than this, and I'm gonna hold up the jar of fireflies again.
And I glow just because of my personality, so.
That's not true. Can we move past this, please?
Can we
I think that'd be
physically
for
move
best.
past the camp,
You've
please?
seen
'Cause this
me,
is
yeah.
urgent
You've seen me
news.
eat food.
I-
You've seen me. You've
Let's
touched
go,
me.
please.
I really am uncomfortable with the amount of ridiculousness that is going on here. You, sir, are even more naive than I imagined. You don't know the names of half the animals here, and yet I'm a ghost. You should do more reading.
Well, you.
That wasn't
should-
directed at you. I said
Oh.
reading. And he looks back at Wilgan.
Ooh.
And with that, gathering up the rest of the components of your camp, where
he
is
just
it that you
snaps over
are?
at that.
Where is it that you're wanting to travel to?
Goldsworth.
Goldsworth.
I think we're backpedaling, yeah.
So not a huge distance, a few days. You pack things up and start working your way westward toward the coast and toward the main road that runs north to south. As you take off through the woods, first kind of day of this, not too much eventful happens, any more conversation. It's more silent than anything, kind of wondering what's going on between all these people.
Ghost and who's not.
Adri's just keeping an eye on Theo.
Oh, boy.
He's no longer looking at the sky anymore.
It's about a full day's travel to get from your encampment to the road, which you're able to retrace your steps fairly well, and eventually arrive back on the road that runs north out of Goldsworth. You hear the sound of the crashing waves on the rocks, the cliffs below the sea.
I want to keep an eye out for any horses specifically, because I know that last time we ran into a mail carrier, he was coming from the north on a horse, so hopefully something like that.
Okay. But you get out to the road and you kind of turn to your left and start working your way back down along the coast. It's getting into the evening. About time to set up camp.
Time to set up camp. Are you going to be comfortable camping in a tent with me?
You can't have my body. That's the only.
I don't want your body at all. Here, look, touch. He's going to hold his arm out. See? Flesh, just like you. In fact, well, nope, yep, I can. So, intentionally, I will just, nick just a tiny, so that a little bit of blood comes out. Just a tiny nick, not something that's going to really hurt me. Blood.
Alright,
Is this resolved?
I will. Because you've shown me mercy, I will allow you in my tent.
Okay, well, just make sure that the mercy keeps flowing by, letting me sleep in your tent. Well, shall we call that our agreement? I sleep in your tent, you get my mercy.
Alright. That seems fair. I don't want ghost stuff in my brain.
I don't imagine there's much in there, so it's fine.
So as you spend the time setting your campfire and arranging your tent, getting everything in place for another night out away from civilization, mark off more rations and more supplies that you keep consuming and going through on your travels. Who's taking first watch?
Right, so
I've
let's
always wanted first
organize
watch.
this. Let's organize this.
I would like first watch.
And I accompany him as we do. Next, we will have Logan. Then we will have Marcus, and then Adri, you can go last.
That way we have nobody will be too tired. That sounds good.
So as you set up, Omar and Theodore, you set out. The rest eventually go through their evening routines and eventually drift off to sleep. You're currently
as soon as they're asleep. I'm just gonna complain to Omar about them.
Go for it.
I have done nothing to you.
That little rat must have been sneaking up on me when I was trying to protect myself. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on him.
Maybe come up with another excuse other than you have to pee.
But I was actually peeing that time.
Right, but it's you need something better. Also,
All right.
what information do we have on Adri? Because he seems very fishy.
Well,
I don't think he's smart enough to be an evil
just gonna-
mastermind. Could be a lackey.
he's gonna pull his journal out. I've been keeping track of this fellow, and he's gonna flip through a couple pages. He's gonna say, first, I've noticed that glove never comes off. I'm very curious about that. Even when he's sleeping, he doesn't take it off, which is very strange. I also noticed that when he's sleeping, he's like gnaws on it or something. He's very attached to it. I don't know why. It's very curious. Second, he said something about light coming out of wounds. That was strange. But that also, for some reason, in my brain, connected to the leeches. He said he was letting them feed off of him, but they died.
I don't think he needs light, just from his demeanor.
Well.
Although it would be a very, very clever ruse. He'd have to be very
We'll just have to
clever.
see next time he gets hurt. His blood, there's got to be something. Leeches don't die just from feeding off unless he's sick. What if he's sick?
I mean, I'm going to be completely honest with you. At first, I had thought leeches on to sleep and then rolled over them. That was my initial assessment. However, I am very interested about this glove. If you want, we have first watch.
Do you want to try and take it off of him?
I want to try and take it off of him, maybe.
All right,
sure.
okay.
This glove, are you sure this glove means something?
I mean, he never literally, when we go in the tent, I bet it's on him. He never takes it off. I'll tell you what, I'll set up a quick perimeter since we're not going to be really keeping an eye out, and I will go and cast alarm. So I take my little tiny bell and my piece of silver wire, and I just trace the perimeter of the camp, gently ringing it periodically as I
For a silent
create a
alarm?
perimeter. Yeah, to myself.
Okay.
Let's all right. If anything comes, I'll be notified. In the meantime,
What's
you're a little sneakier than I am.
what's Wilgan's passive perception? Or not Wilgan, I'm sorry, Adri's. Also-
I think it's just 10.
10 minus 5 because you're sleeping, so that's a passive perception of 5.
I will try and
Observant.
sneak into his camp.
So both Omar and Theodore are kind of, both of you roll stealth.
I mean, I like to be the one to go inside.
Yeah,
I will
I'm just
tell-
gonna be at the
yeah.
flap so that I can
Yep.
see what happens. But I'll still
Both of you roll stealth,
sure.
but Omar is kind of
Yeah,
taking the point on
it's-
this.
15, 16. So yeah.
Yeah,
17.
yeah, pretty good. So you get up there and you do find Adri. He's asleep. One gloved hand that's kind of like lying.
Make sure you're really carefully just peeling the glove back so you can see.
I want to. He's a big oaf. I want to wrap my right hand into cloth, Alright, or a glove if I have one. I don't. Yeah, I do have gloves on. So yeah, I'll just take my hand, and I will try and just fully move his arm, just off of his neck, because he's stupid.
Make a sleight of
And
hand check.
I'll put my glove over his neck, so his neck doesn't feel the disparity, only his arm.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Yeah. That's and six, so that's a 16.
Good enough. So kind of move it over and
And then with my left hand, I will try and pry the glove off his.
make another sleight of hand check. This one with disadvantage.
This is stupid.
Yeah, I don't think I can roll below a 5.
Probably not.
I rolled a 17.
17. So as you take the glove and start kind of moving it back, you see across his hand a large gash that's kind of bleeding and oozing blood.
Try and get a little bit of the blood so we can see what it does. Just scrape it onto something.
I will take my. I guess it's. I will take a dagger and just like put it against it so the blood dagger.
You got like Janet.
Yeah, I can. No.
No, I mean like with spreading.
Yeah. It's like,
Make a sleight of hand check at disadvantage. -3.
okay, so that's just a straight roll then. Yeah, I can't roll below a 5. That's an 11.
11 -3, so 8.
No, it wasn't.
That was
Okay,
-3.
that is -3. Okay. You managed to get a little bit of the blood on the blade.
Okay.
Maybe we don't push our luck. I think.
Right. I'll try to make sure as much doesn't rip off the dagger, but I'm sure it plenty well. And then I try to back out of the tent.
Kind of
And I will try and put the glove.
put him back how he was. Are you trying to put the arm back where it was?
No, that's
Okay,
fine.
just gonna-
Please.
All right. You make your way back out of the tent.
All right. Is there any living thing nearby, like a cricket?
Yeah, there's crickets and frogs
All right,
and
I need to catch something that's alive.
I'll try to rub off.
okay.
No,
I'm sure
don't.
Well, wait.
I mean,
Can we just grab something? Do we have to?
Yeah. There's. I mean, if you
Okay,
just want a little
cool.
frog or a bug of some
Yeah,
sort.
just a little creature.
Put the blood on the creature.
So what? You pick up a frog?
Yeah, little tiny frog, just something small.
Okay. So yeah, you take it and you're just gonna put it on it
We're gonna
directly,
put it
or
in its mouth.
Put the blood in its mouth.
so you take how much? Just like a drop.
I'm
Just
trying to trip it in.
Whatever's on the. Yeah.
So
as
on the
much of it
blade,
as you
you've got
can.
like so if you've got a knife blade, you've got like
Like
I have a
a-
knife around here somewhere. I was gonna just kind of
Yeah.
like show a, but like along the edge of it, you've got like a line. So you've got
just get it all into the frog's mouth.
the whole. So
Yep.
the frog kind of as it dies immediately.
Yeah, that's not normal. That's not normal.
Very not normal.
If I put my blood in a frog's mouth, it probably wouldn't like it, but it's not gonna die.
Oh my lord, what is this guy?
I don't know, but he's not what he says he is. And he said I was a ghost?
And his hand is
What the heck
constant-
is he?
That means his hand is constantly bleeding.
Yeah, I wonder if he.
That gash just won't heal.
Yeah.
That's what that means. I think I know why.
Maybe that's why he's so
interested in
strong.
leeches. I'm
I told you, I knew. that's why the
wildly
leech-
concerned here.
Yeah. I'm going to. I sleep in a tent with him.
Don't.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna sleep outside this time.
Camp might be really intense.
Yeah.
I think
So-
I'm just gonna
1d4
sleep with
psychic
you by the tree.
I sleep in the tree. Can you stay in the tree?
Not in the tree, just below the tree. It's fine.
Okay, I'll stay
I have a
down.
perimeter up for the rest of the night.
I'll
so.
I'll stay down with you so you don't die.
Well, thanks. Although he seems oddly afraid of me, so I think we'll be fine. Oh no, but I did make the agreement that I would sleep in the tent. He'd get my mercy. What if he sees me outside of the tent and he's like freaking out? You know what? Whatever happened. At this point, let's just wake up the next person. But this is we're gonna have to do a bit more invest. Maybe
This
should we address it in
requires
the morning?
No.
Should we address it right now?
I don't
How
think.
much time is left on our?
Not a lot.
I
Maybe
think
like
we need more information.
Yeah, maybe
Oh,
we'll
we
just
can.
gather, and maybe we won't point at him and say you're a monster. We don't want to
Right.
blow our cover too soon. All
Right.
right.
Let's please let me
Yes.
wake up Logan.
Yeah. Wilgan, you should put the blood in his mouth. Ah, too bad we're out. He's gonna go over to Wilkin,
Wow. Okay.
just
Let's be-
nudge him with the staff, and he's gonna get near Wilkin, and he's gonna go, wake up. And just-
I'm just gonna reflex and just punch him in the face.
Make an attack roll.
Fine.
it's been more than 8 hours.
That would be unarmed.
Please.
So that's
Please
just
roll
plus
really
3, so
good.
15. 15 to hit.
15 hits. 15 hits.
15 hits.
For how much damage do you do? Do you do any damage off those?
I do 2. I have some strength.
Yeah,
I do 2 damage.
it's just gonna be a ow, and then just a bash with his
Don't do
quarterstaff.
that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Bonk.
But
Go
I'm
for it.
intentionally not hitting him, just the ground
Yeah.
near him. Next time I will connect. What the heck was that for? I'm waking you up. It's your turn.
Don't wake me up like that. It's
Yeah, well, that's what you get for saying I'm a ghost.
fine.
Could you punch a ghost in the face? He's gonna
No,
go
no,
around by
fine.
the tree.
Fair enough. Fine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. To be fair, you have been very shady with all that.
I'm a shy peer, okay?
So
I
as
don't
you
like an
Fine,
audience.
trade off your watch, Wilgan, make a perception check.
19.
19. So as you keep an eye out, you listen to the sounds of the ocean, you hear occasional wildlife off in the distance where the swamp is. You do notice something a little bit strange. Not too far away from the camp is the remains of a little frog with the head and throat completely melted off.
Oh my god. I'm gonna look around for ghosts.
You don't notice any ghosts, but that's strange.
Can I get a bit closer?
Yeah,
and
it's just
see
a
what
frog.
exactly. How exactly did this thing die?
So as you take a look at it, it looks as if it's almost like kind of a gelatinous puddle that's near it, almost as if the whole like face down to like the shoulder of it have just melted into this puddle.
And as someone with expertise in medicine, I don't get anything else other than that.
Make a medicine check, sure.
Okay. 16?
16,
Not great.
almost as if dissolved in acid.
Okay. Strange. Can I listen around for any? I don't hear any like animals or.
I mean, you hear the
That's it.
occasional call of something out in the swamp from where you came, but nothing nearby.
I'm not gonna touch this frog. It's probably gonna melt my face off. Yeah, I'm just gonna go back to where I was, even more paranoid than I am right now.
The rest of your watch is fairly uneventful. Go wake someone up.
That would be. Who was mentioned in the
Just
in the
wake
order?
them up.
You guys can just wake somebody up.
Let's let's wake up Adri.
Yeah, like last time.
Do you know of any like animals that spit acid or anything in this area?
No.
Any like kind of toxic wildlife? Any like plants or anything. There's
I mean,
there's a
one time I ate some berries and that didn't go through me very well, but I don't think that's quite what you're.
no. It's probably nothing, but there's a frog outside that's kind of not exactly all there. You'll kind of get it when you see it. Anyway, good night, and I'll go to
Oh.
sleep.
Okay. I'll go out and inspect the frog. Or try to find the frog.
And make an investigation check.
8. 6 plus 1, so 7.
7? No, you don't notice any frog or anything.
I'll just take my watch.
Keeping an eye out. No, aside from the usual sounds and things that you encounter there in the night, nothing hostile approaches. And as your watch comes to an end, you go and wake someone up. Which, when you went to bed, you knew who was watching and who was just there. So, by process of elimination,
Right, yeah.
you do know that
Go to Marcus. Shake his shoulder.
Yeah.
Hey, it's your watch. Can
Okay.
Wilgin mentioned something about an acid, a frog that was. I know something about a frog in acid. It wasn't quite understanding. I just woke up when he talked to me. And if you want to keep an eye out for that,
I'll keep an eye out
don't
for it.
know.
Yeah.
frog and acid seems like quite the weekend.
Yeah. I'm not actually gonna go looking for it.
Depends
Okay.
on the kind of acid.
Make a perception
I-
check.
Yeah. I'm always great at those.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm actually. Oh, okay. So that's 21.
21. Awesome. So, yeah, you sit up and keep an eye on things until the early morning light hits. It's peaceful, calm. Nice to be away from the commotion of the party that keeps going back and forth, trying to catch each other in something. But you are able to complete the night's rest. Everyone does get the benefits of a long rest.
Yay.
As you wake up, a small or kind of light rain shower has set in. Kind of a cool rain through the autumn air. It's not the most comfortable for traveling, but at least it's not a heavy rain.
When we wake up, can I go back to where that frog was before? See if it's still there.
Poor frog.
And you go back to where the
It's
frog
completely
was.
dissolved away.
There's no frog there, but there is a bare spot in the grass. And just dirt in kind of a small circle.
That's all I want.
Yeah, when I see Wilgan go to that area, I just tell Bart, oh, maybe we should have got rid of that.
Always have to get rid of the body.
Yeah.
I'm just packing up.
Tia, why weren't you in the tent when I woke up?
Oh, I chose to sleep outside. My mercy is to be distributed as I see fit. But since I didn't sleep in it, that means I don't have to pack it up, so that's on you. Under his breath, whatever you are.
So you're not affected by the rain?
What?
There's like
Yeah, I'm wet.
Yeah, but you don't seem to mind it that much. Seems awfully like
Everybody else is wet too.
yeah, but
Traveling
you
with a pack of
had
ghosts.
the option of being inside of a
Oh my
tent.
gosh, I feel
What
like
else?
ye ol' lobotomy was done without you knowing. I don't.
What's that mean?
Cool.
It's fine. It's just a light rain. It's not a heavy. If it was raining heavily, I would have stayed in the tent.
It started raining later or earlier, whatever.
Yeah, it didn't rain through most of the night. It's
Was it raining when you were on watch?
No.
There you go.
Well,
I'm gonna teach you to piece things together logically. That's my new goal. Well, one among many.
does someone else want to help me do it? Cause I don't really, I don't
I'll
like
just
taking the
pack
things
up
out
tents.
of the.
Everybody, just hurry up.
Marcus will walk over and help him.
To go swerve. Right back to where we started.
That's quite
Yeah,
a
looking for.
that's quite a bit of travel to get all the way down to Gulfswerve. Now you've been keeping an eye out for any other travelers on the road. You don't run into any in the first 2 days. On the third day, you do meet a kind of double or 2-horse wagon, kind of the canopy over it that's making its way up toward the north. And you see it in the distance approaching as you're making your way down the road.
It's faster than us.
Let's go in the opposite direction. It's coming toward you.
Oh.
Perhaps it's another salesman.
So, no.
Well, actually, I just ran out of the leeches, so that would be.
Uh,
No,
nice.
just because we have some urgent news to tell people.
Maybe
No.
you shouldn't
Everyone
buy any
has
more
a gas.
leeches.
What's?
He just
what's-
looks him dead in the
what's-
face. Because maybe they'll
Cool.
die again.
I mean, isn't that the point? Is that you use them, they die,
Nope.
and then you.
That's not what leeches do. They suck your blood and then they digest that and then they suck your blood again in an unending cycle because blood does not kill leeches.
I mean,
What happened with
I
the
think-
leeches?
well, I mean, I'll use them, so they're not.
Yeah,
they-
he threw them
you
out.
know.
He thought they were one-use leeches.
Well, I mean, use them till they don't work anymore, leeches, right? I don't know.
I mean, that's probably why the salesman said to come back if you needed more. So I assumed they were.
Where were you
Use the
putting the
ones.
leeches on? Tree.
I was using them to
On your
I
arm.
heard what he said that that it had 2 uses. It was for wounds and muscle growth, so I was using different muscles. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
So it wasn't one spot.
Uh-huh. Interesting. Yeah. You know what? I believe you. He just looks at Omar and gives him
About now, this horse and wagon has kind of made its way close. Ahoy! They're kind of
Hello.
still trotting along.
Does it look like they're
Oh,
fancy?
there are orcs ahead. Be careful. Okay.
Oh no, Omar.
The horse has kind of come to a stop.
Omar.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, I saw some trucks. Trucks
Raiders.
ahead. Be careful.
Oh, they're not even in season.
I know, it was odd. Dogs, tell you. Anyway, continue.
Just stay on the path. Be careful.
Where? No, okay, he left.
I don't
I
think
didn't
that's
see
something
any
we
stalks.
announced to everyone.
I mean, we do
We
want
should
it
at
to
least
be
tell them there's
safe.
raiders or
Well,
something.
we told them stay on the path and be careful.
Yes, we could say raiders. Say bandits are ahead.
Remember, we're not supposed to cause an uproar.
I mean,
Right,
I
because
think
I
that it would
feel
be fine
it's
causing an
only-
uproar if it had to do with people dying or not dying.
Well,
I
we
know
don't want to
for-
expose what we know too far ahead
Right.
because then the orcs will know that we know, and if the orcs know that we know, then they'll use that knowledge to
Did
evade
they look
those
like
that we would
orcs?
send after them. No,
I'm
Yes, it's-
pretty sure they didn't look like orcs. Then.
that's not what I'm saying.
It's fine. It makes sense. Just know that it makes sense and just move on with your life. Is that alright?
Okay, he was talking about logical conclusions.
Right. Okay.
I'm
this
not
was-
seeing a logical conclusion.
Okay, I will slow it down for you. We do not want to tell every random person we see, "Hey, there are orcs in the swamps," because if they start telling other people, then so many people might know that the orcs will get alerted before we can get reinforcements to go to their encampment.
But why would humans tell the orcs?
The humans don't have to tell the orcs; they can tell each other, and then eventually somebody might go looking. And if somebody that is ill prepared goes looking,
They could get hurt. That does
Yeah.
make sense.
Okay. Okay, you know what? That's the first thing I've heard you say that actually made sense to me.
well, maybe your brain grew.
Thank you.
After a few more days of travel, you eventually see on the horizon the familiar sight, the town of Gulsworth. The smoke rising from the chimneys, the ocean waves crashing, the small boats that follow up along the coast you see approaching in the harbor. As you arrive back at the town, it's nice to be back at civilization after a few weeks out in the wilderness. What things do you want to do now that you're back in town?
Find a
Like-
mailman.
You
Uh,
first, I'd like to separately away from Guru. I want to use my calligrapher's supplies. It's a very, very nice fancy letter to the monastery of Brindanier, and using my my background, um, my yes, I will write it in the code of Brindanier. So it'll be, thank you, Grandma, for the lovely cookies, blah 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 blah, and then I'll relate to them the information we found, and then almost like a PNG, I will just write everything on that list exactly how it was, one in Orcish and then translated.
Okay. And then you get all this together. How do you want to send it?
I want to. Do I have like a stamp? I don't like. I'm not sure. That's not necessarily something you have on your equipment.
Right.
I have.
You do have wax and a seal that has
Right.
kind of an emblem on it. It's a more subtle one, not the full blown Brindanier one, but
Yeah.
one of kind of internal messaging.
Yeah, and I do want to make it look as official, so I'll get an envelope. If I need to buy one, I will.
Be 2 copper.
God,
Leaving
that's
them
in my
dry.
pockets. But yes.
But you're able to kind of assemble this together and get that sent through regular parcel.
I want to see actually if I can. There's no Amazon Express one-day shipping here, is there?
The only way to ship things a little quicker would be to hire a private courier rather than sending it through the regular mail.
Is there a way to do that?
There is, yes.
Okay, yes.
Through any of the town hall type places, there are couriers that are contracted to handle things like that. It is more expensive, and to travel as far as Brindanier with this sort of package, it would be more in the ballpark of 3 gold pieces.
I will lay down 3.
And with a private courier, this letter will get there drastically faster than it would being carried town to town.
And then reconvene, I guess, at the inn that we were saying.
Sure. Anybody else have anything you want to take care of here in town?
I'd like to. I don't know. I'd like to just take a walk. Just take a walk and look around. Just explore. See what's.
Well, you walk down the main street that kind of has this dusty dirt that it's pretty settled after the rains that came through a couple days before. You see the storefronts of the general store, or of the inn, the town hall, blacksmith. You see still some ruts in the ground where the doctor had set up his cart and started to fade. The leaves and the trees that grow ever so often are now turning to kind of a brown color as the autumn is getting later into the season and winter's approaching. You see the harbor boats coming and going. You see one of the boats that, well, that's one of them that makes trips to and from the small island off the coast, home. You kind of take in the sights and sounds of the town, walk up a residential street where a woman is hanging up clothing after having washed it for the day.
Could I guess it would be at the dockmaster and inquire about how often that boat comes by
Oh,
to Good Barrel.
oh well, yeah. Twice a week usually.
Twice a week. So quite often.
I don't. They need supplies. We send them in, especially through the winter. The summer is less frequent.
Actually, since I have from my background, I have met a few of the not travelers, the what's the word?
Dock workers.
Sellers. I think I would recognize if I saw one or two people that ship supplies to and from Good Barrel.
Yeah, yeah, you would recognize they're offloading some of the cargo at the moment.
Did you mean merchant?
Merchants, yeah.
Yeah, you would recognize it.
It's been quite a while. Hello, I'm
Well, again,
used to. Hi.
well, well, you look like like you've been out and about a bit.
I have. It's been interesting. Very interesting. I've seen actually quite a lot of things. How often? What's it like back home?
Like it always is. People are
that's
settling in for the winter, bringing in any firewood. People have got enough food stored up. You know, this past summer has been a little bit rough on the crops, but they'll be fine.
Okay. Thinking I might go back in a bit. I don't know. I still want to explore this. I just got here to the city. I think I'd like to look around here a bit more, but I might be going back soon.
Going back,
Do you
well,
mind if
your folks will be glad to see you, I'm sure.
Yes, I'd be glad to see them too. Yeah. Do you think I could get a ride back with you? What's
Of
the
course.
Kind of, well, thank you. I'm sure I can reimburse you. Or my folks can reimburse you for that back. But this would be when are you next going back?
Well, we're taking out in the ship in the morning.
Okay.
You want us to save you a spot?
No, it's okay. I think I have to say goodbye, and I think I'd like to stay in this town just a few more weeks.
Oh.
Just explore. But I think I'll be going home quite soon.
Well, let us know. We'll save you a spot. It is good to see you. How's that book coming along?
Oh, it's I'll show them. I'll flip through some of the pages with some of my writings on. Let's see.
Tackle.
The false log alligator, the brown bear, the cutsuck leeches, the forest seabird bird, or the forest seabird because I haven't categorized it. Firefly of the willful wisp, the ghost, the giant mosquito, the orcs, and the ankles vein snake.
Well, this is quite the list you've managed.
You have no idea. It's
More
I found a strange group of people, and
Well, definitely more exciting than running the boat back and forth.
sometimes I think a little less exciting might be good. I might come back. It was, despite everything, I think it was quite fun. Quite fun.
Well, it's good to see you, Wilkin. Good to see
Thank you. It's good to see you too. I'll head off for. I'll head back out and keep looking around town and stuff. I'm
Sure.
done.
Anybody else?
Is there because I know this is like a hunting and game type of
Mm-hmm. There's
village.
a
Is there,
butcher,
specific
taxidermist.
hunter, like a taxidermist or
Yeah.
hunter. I want to go to either one and just go in.
Hi, I'm looking for something oddly particular, but I feel like this might be the place that I find it.
Looking for a new crossbow.
No. Have you trapped any snakes in your hunts or trapping?
Not too many. Not too much demand for it.
Yeah, well, do you have? It doesn't matter if it's alive.
Well, I've got a couple stuffed ones.
Do you have the entrails by chance still? Is this recent?
Not something I keep around.
Ugh. Do you know who in this village might?
Might check at the apothecary. They use venom.
That makes absolute sense. Okay, bye. And he just walks back out and goes to find the apothecary.
It's not too hard to find, and similar to the traveling doctor, they have different herbs and different components for medicines and treatments. You go in, and it's this small, kind of hunched over man that runs it. Oh, can I help you?
Hello, I'm looking for something fairly particular. I just, you might actually have both of the things that I'm looking for. It's for something I'm going to be working on.
Come on up here to the desk, and you kind of the floorboards creak under your feet as they're old and dried. It kind of dusts off the top of it. Well, what can I be getting for you?
I need two things. Do you have any powdered rhubarb leaf?
Rhubarb. Let me see. Well, rhubarb was in season back in the spring. It's dried a bit. It's not fresh, but it's functional.
Doesn't have to be fresh. That's fine.
If you're
And,
gonna, here's rhubarb.
Yeah, I just need that, and then I was directed here for. I'm looking not necessarily for the venom, but I do need an adder's stomach. If you happen to have an adder.
Those things like to multiply. Let me see. We keep a few. Well, we don't usually keep them alive, but we did have to go and.
Even if you have one that you recently killed, I could preserve the stomach.
Let me go take a look. We do use the venom from them occasionally, and well, again, it's a bit dried out.
That's fine. It'll make the preservation of it even more simple.
Yeah. You know, the stomach lining of these make an excellent laxative.
That's why I need it. I'm having trouble going.
I see. Well, good luck. I've also got some other things. I got prunes. We'll clean you right out. Would you like some prunes?
No, I don't. Prunes are not something that I need.
Well, let me tell you, it'll slick you right up like oil.
Oh, yeah. You know, I'm not trying to go constantly. This is just a one-time use situation.
Yeah.
If you could.
Yeah, fair enough. I use prunes myself, and it just slicks up the pipes.
He was full of shit.
He has my. He has the components I need. Be nice. Yes, that. You know, I love.
Just be sure that you stay hydrated when you're using it. You'll shrivel yourself right up.
I have lots of water.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, how much for these?
Well, the rhubarb, it's about ready to turn. I'll give you a discount on it. That'll be it'll be 4 copper for that. The snake belly, yeah, you can do. I'll just throw that in. I don't have any use for it.
Thank you. That is mighty kind of you. I will put the 4 copper exactly on the table.
If you'd like, I'll set some prunes aside for you.
You know, maybe next time I'm in town.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Actually, you know what? If you have some and you're willing to throw them in, I'll take them.
Well, I mean, those would be a couple copper pieces, but...
Oh, yeah, I'm a little tight right now, sorry.
I mean, if you want it loosened up, the prunes are the way to go.
Yeah, I walked right into that. Just this, thank you.
Okay, well, you have a good one.
I'm gonna take the adder stomach and the powdered rhubarb and put it in a separate pouch and walk back to the group.
I do just want to specify, because I realized I hadn't. I will put in our whole theory of the portal.
Yep, gotcha.
Yeah.
Does Adri or Marcus have anything?
Adri will just be going to like the general store, the adventure store, like place where you get common goods.
Yeah.
And just restock on some bandages and a new pair of gloves because his have seemed to gotten fairly dirty.
Yep. So you can get a new
wonder.
gloves, some bandages, all of those good things. Marcus, that'll cost you 2 silver pieces. Marcus, anything?
He probably just went to like the inn and got himself like some ale and lunch.
Okay.
Would it be time for lunch?
Yeah, sure. And eventually you all kind of reconvene at the inn, ready to kind
Sorry, I
of
didn't think that anything.
ready to plan out your next moves. Wilgan, you may want to
I think
wrap things up here.
all yeah. All things considered, I think I might stay here a bit if you guys are moving. If you all are moving on.
Yeah.
I know you
Are you
don't particularly like me. Theo,
I don't
so I'm
dislike
sure
you.
you'll be glad.
I just don't like being called a ghost.
That's fair. And I apologize for that. But I don't. It's getting colder, and I think I should go home soon. But I'll probably come visit back here. Probably when it gets a bit warmer again. Maybe I don't know. But, I think I'm gonna be staying in this city for a little bit, and then taking the boat home. It's been
Goodbye, farewell.
all right.
See you
Yeah,
maybe.
It's
I wish
Adri-
a safe passage.
thank you, Marcus. Adri, thank you for. Sorry about the whole ghost thing. I
Yeah,
really
well,
did think it was.
I probably pushed that as well. It's probably partly my fault.
You don't say.
Maybe don't sleep
Could
upon
you?
people when they pee next time. Listen to
That-
this.
I'm sorry about that. But Theo, how do you? I'm just curious. How do you keep those fireflies alive in the jar so long? It's
Well, I
good-
feed
good-
them
good to know.
non-toxic things. He just
There's-
looks at Adri when he says that.
what
They
kind of
don't
things?
take
Specific?
much, just plants from around.
Okay. Good.
Pick a flower here and there.
What about those? Because I know you pointed out those fireflies earlier. They kind of.
Those are
They eat
very
people?
different. Those are different. We had this discussion. I
Yeah, I know
apologize
we-
for my inability or unwillingness to impart important information. You got that one apology out of me. Let's not bring it up again.
Okay. Thanks. I think that's.
And as the
Except my,
afternoon continues, you're
Look at that.
able to have your kind of various conversation. You rest up a bit after this kind of long trek out into the woods. Having hot food, freshly prepared, is nice. And as you plan your next moves, that's where we're going to call it for this week. I'm picking up next week. Things will be a little bit different as we have a slight change of cast, as mentioned earlier. This was Kendall's last session for the time being. You may drop in sometime in the future, but been nice having you along for the ride, Kendall. Been a lot of
It's
fun.
been nice. And yeah.
And then
Very different kind of character, I think, or
Oh,
kind
I
of campaign.
agree.
Oh, definitely.
and as we've kind of lost a couple along the way due to personal reasons and things, we'll have 2 new cast members starting next week. So it'll be exciting for everybody to meet the new cast members and see what characters they'll be bringing into the party and what they'll be bringing into the team. So that'll be a lot of fun. As always, want to thank everybody for tuning in. Lots of people in the chat throwing out bits. I think we had a new follow. There a few different things in there. So thank everybody for that. Besides, that's all I've got. Anybody else have anything or?
Thanks for having me.
yeah.
I'll see.
Yeah.
I'll try to come back when I can.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll be glad to have you along anytime. So just let me know. But besides that, I hope everybody has a good afternoon and we'll see you next week.